How we going? Welcome to another Clicking Balls.
Yep.
We thought we got a bit of time, so we actually talk about actual events that are happening. It's exciting.
It's actually good that, well, most of our favourite sports are starting up again. We've got AFL's back with the NAB Cup, so thought we might spread a bit of bullshit about that.
Or NAB Challenge now.
NAB Challenge, that's
right. They don't have a cup anymore.
I think it's a challenge to field a team, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's getting there. Essendon might be on the right track here, putting in all the ringers.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, well, with the way what's been going down with injuries and that, it seems that they're probably going to come out on top. They're going to be rested and
everyone's spare, because we've had two best and fairest from last year go down in the space of 2 days, in Mackenzie for West Coast and Libba for the Bulldogs.
Yep, and they look like serious ones too.
Yeah, well, I think Mackenzie, they've already announced that's his season done.
His year, yeah.
And Libba's looking like the same.
And I mean,
it's just fucking tragic.
And especially Libba's still young too, and Mackenzie, you know, they're not old people, so...
No, and Mackenzie was like a hair away from All-Australian last year.
Yeah.
And you know, West Coast finished 9th or 10th.
Yeah, they got 9th, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, just missed out. Maybe Adelaide got 9th, I can't remember.
Nah, West Coast must have, because we haven't done the mystery AFL theatre for West Coast.
Yep.
So they would have been pressing, you know, going into... trying to make finals this year, and you know the old captain's just retired, so he'd be leading the back lines again.
Yep.
And now he's thanks for coming, mate. See you. Good pre-season.
Yep.
See you next year.
How's your coaching?
Yeah,
that's what you're going to be doing most of the season. But it's funny. I think, you know, is it better that happens at the start of the season, or so they know what they're up against for the whole lot, or do you reckon you still want to get something out of them midway and have that loss of momentum?
It is funny. I reckon it's almost is better at the start of the season, because if you did it round 10, let's say, that stuffs up, obviously the rest of the year, and stuffs you up for the start of next year.
Yeah,
at least this year it's like, you know what, mate, come November, you'll be right. Hit the track running, away you go.
And I think you get that leeway as well, or if it doesn't come good, there's no pressure to rush him back.
No. But I mean, it's fucked. I mean, you're missing it's an entire year of your career.
There's still a shit state of affairs for the supporters as well, where, you know, you think you'd be going finals this year again, but no.
Yeah, that. As I said, I'm going to have to revise my ladder. And the poor old bullies. You
can't hate the bullies, but geez, they just can't take a trick at the moment.
Can't take a trick. They were looking good too.
Kind of seemed they got a few things together over the off season and.
Well, I mean, you know, they lost their captain, they lost their coach. Now they lost their best and fairest from last year. But I mean, Boyd looked big in the game. He looks like he's starting to fill out. So it looked like that. There's promise there of what he might be might actually happen. Yeah,
and they were playing against, you know, a young Richmond side, and they ran out well. So a lot of positives there.
So there's no, like we said, there's no cup. You reckon it's worth it? Are you interested?
No, not interested in it, to be honest.
Not really?
No, but I think it's good. Like, for the most part, I might watch most of the games that there. Depends what I'm doing, but I'm not particularly interested in results. It's mainly sort of the mountain yard to go check out who you're going to pick in Supercoach.
I was going to say, it ends up being a Supercoach and a Dream Team type of arrangement, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm the same. There's no cup. It just, like, not that I gave a rat's ass about the preseason cup anyway, but at least it was something.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, during the week, I was trying to think who won the preseason cup like last year. I don't remember.
There wasn't one last year,
or the last one. It seems like every year comes around, you never remember who won the preseason cup anyway.
Not really,
unless they're shit in the main season. They're like, yeah, but we won the preseason cup.
Well, there was the year that Carlton won the preseason cup and the wooden spoon.
That's right.
But Adelaide won the last NAB cup.
I think Saints won on the same thing at some point, didn't they?
More than likely. If anybody was gonna.
Yeah.
No, Carlton did it 1 year. I think the Bulldogs won it 1 year. It was like, it's something for the Bulldogs to hang their hat on.
I think they get some cash for it as well. I think they did, but
a little bit. But I mean, you get cash for it, but you also get, you sell shirts with night premiers and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you see, you know, half of the supporters get the tattoo on the calf or whatever.
Yeah, why not? I mean, but you know, when in all the media, whenever they introduce Dermot Brereton, it's always 5 day, 5 night premiership.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no night premiership. But, I mean...
I bet Derry's devastated about that as well. He's the only one that gets introduced with the days and nights premierships.
I don't know. He's the only person who gets mentioned with his night premierships.
Probably his contract.
It might be. I do remember, though, Gary Lyon giving a speech at Melbourne saying how jealous he was every time they introduced Dermy. He's a 5 day, 5 night. And Gary Lyon.
Yep.
200 gamer. But it's... missing out that that success.
Yeah, that's the thing. Gary was good in his own right, just not in a team that was successful.
It's just luck of the draw sometimes.
Exactly, and I mean, just that year of Hawks was a bit outrageous. Let's be honest.
Ridiculous, yeah, and doing it again, which is good.
Yep.
So, not all that much interested. Like when the Collingwood Hawthorn game was on, I sort of remembered halfway through and watched a little bit, and then went and did something else. But I mean, it is interesting to see what people take out of it.
Yeah.
Like, because I think you can only really look at individuals and go, "Oh, yep, he's up and about. That's good to see."
Yeah, exactly.
But team-wise, it's so funny because Collingwood won by 40 points. It should have been more.
Yeah.
There's a couple of super goals.
Yep.
Everyone's quick to say, "Yeah, but Hawthorn left out 14 premiership players or whatever it was."
Yeah.
But Collingwood, they kind of have a right to be a little bit excited.
Yeah. And the thing is, even with 12 premiership players out, Hawthorn is still a fucking good side.
Yeah, but Collingwood, I mean, there was no Swan, there was no Pendlebury, there was no Cloak, there was no Keefe. So there's their two best midfielders, their best key forward and their best key backman. I mean, it's not like they put out the best side either.
There could be something in that too. Maybe they're better off with Colin sitting on the bench.
But I mean, you can't win a premiership in February, but something there, surely.
You've got to get something out of it, and I think the fact that you still run out that whole game, you still got goals for the preseason, and if you tick them off, then that's a positive. You got to take those on board and go into the season with a bit of momentum.
Something into it, yeah.
Because I'm sure they'd have like a sort of predetermined checklist, for lack of a better word, or what they want to achieve in each game and preseason.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just about ticking the boxes and seeing how they go.
Yeah, I don't know if they really changed tactics or anything. They're sort of, right, this is what we're going to do in the first quarter, and this is what we're going to do in the second quarter.
Yeah. Well, even with the Richmond Bulldogs game, I was on Twitter before, just fucking around. I think Supercars when I was watching the qualifying, but no, it's racist, yeah. I saw before the game they said the outs are so-and-so, and the late withdrawals is like Conker or Ellis, and pretty much any other player you know.
The names you've heard of.
Yep. We had Stevie Morris, captain. Did a good job, apparently.
I like him.
But I like even Dimmer. Like, we lost in the last quarter. They kicked like 4 straight to Super Goal or something like that. Right. But he was happy with the young kids, and Morris, captain, he said he was really impressed with, and he's pinged him for filling in the hole that Jet King left up forward with the forward pressure and just being a presence. And
well, he's always been an active player like that.
Yeah.
We've said it a few times, being active on the mark and just rushing, like always doing something.
Yeah.
Which is great.
And it was good to hear Dimmer say that, because I think Jake King didn't get enough credit for the pressure that he would put when he doesn't have the ball and it's in the opposition's hands.
It's amazing, somebody like that who's always criticised for not having the skill set or the size.
Yeah.
But he went, well, here's what I can do, so that's what I'm going to do.
Yep, and did it bloody well.
Yeah, didn't he?
And when we've always said that's what seems to be a key feature of being able to beat sort of fast-running teams was that forward pressure, and it's good to see that it is something that they've flagged and they're going to try and work on this season.
It's good these days that we have defensive forwards and attacking defenders.
Yeah. And with how quick they rotate off the bench, you don't know who's fucking playing where anyway, exactly. So it becomes a bit pointless.
Yeah, it is funny when you have the captains, because the Hawthorn-Collingwood game, I think Hawthorn's captain was Liam Shields, and Collingwood's was Steele Sidebottom.
Yeah, that's right.
So it was a good one. And the other thing out of the Hawks game, I think you pointed out, for Supercoach and stuff like that, Jed Anderson up and about.
Yeah, bloody oath. He looked fantastic.
Because this will be his 3rd year in the AFL.
Yep.
First year he had a good first year as a young'un.
Yeah.
And he sat out all of his second year through pneumonia and shoulder. But they've always pegged him as there's something special there, so it'd be interesting to see. I wonder if he's qualifies for the NAB Rising Star. I don't think 3rd year can.
No, I'm not sure. I have to double check that one.
It's done on age plus games
experience.
Played.
Yeah. But I mean, he presented well, he marked really well, and obviously kicked well. So even though it was a NAB challenge, it's still, you're playing against AFL players.
He'd be value for all those Supercoach and
bloody oath.
Ultimate Dream, whatever.
He's player 1 of 1 for me. And, I think my team's called the Left Testies.
The left
Testies. I don't know.
Okay.
Last year was the Cleveland Steamers.
See, my rule is you've got to have a pun.
Yeah.
And it's got to be somebody from your team as a pun. So the Savage Patch Kids was always my favourite. That was the last time I did Dream Team.
Yeah,
Shane Savage.
I did have Therapist Saints.
The therapist. Yeah. Thank you, Sean Connery. By the way, they did another episode of that.
Did they really? I said that live.
Yeah.
Nice.
40 years. You have to check it out. Had all of them come back. So this year I've got the hedge Hodges. But there's the Age does ultimate draft footy.
Yeah.
So it's fantasy footy, but there's a draft.
Oh, okay.
It's the only reason I'm doing it is I want to do the draft.
That's a really good idea, yeah.
I'm going to lose interest straight after the draft.
Yeah, this is like better than FIFA or something like that, you know? Yeah, this is legit, it's real.
Yeah.
I get to talk to people. It's like the fantasy games you see on TV the Americans play with baseball and that. Now they've learned a little draft and...
They meet up, you do it online.
Usually the wife thinks it's getting cheated on, so he's out there with the boys or something like that.
Yeah, what's that? Knocked Up? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think it's a couple of movies, to be honest.
Yeah,
it
always happens.
And the other thing, MCG announced today that dropped the prices for drinks and food.
Yeah.
I mean, they dropped them, but still not cheap.
No, but, $4 for a bottle of Coke. And you're like, well, that's what a servo charges.
Yeah, that's it.
I guess it's something.
And I mean, it's still $10 for a salad and $8.50 for some sushi.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, because the thing stopping me from eating raw fish at the G was the price. Yeah. That's what had me concerned.
They've missed 2 marks there, haven't we? 1, it's the wrong food. 2, the wrong price point for anybody at the MCG.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's no way anyone's going there going, yeah, no, I'll take the $10 salad. Yeah. And Adelaide Oil came out and said, we've had lots of questions and we'll not be putting our prices down. And
Adelaide Oil was just so funny. I don't understand how they can have near sellouts every game and still lose money.
Yep.
That's like... And then they go back complaining, like, surely somebody's got to look at that contract that you signed and start to ask questions.
Yeah.
Why did we sign it?
Could be some dodgy shit going on in the background, I don't know. Maybe John Bannon's in charge of the cricket club now.
I know. I have no clue what's going on, but it just fundamentally doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems like it's only a good thing for the MCG because you're going to have less profit per item, but more people actually eating there.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think the food prices would be turning anyone away.
No.
It's not going to be it's $1 cheaper, right? Phew, we can go to the footy now.
Yeah, that's it.
But it is going to make people happier.
Yeah.
And the other main thing is they've nicked off all the stupid pricing. Like it's no longer $6.20.
Yeah.
It's $5 flat.
Exactly.
So it's just going to be quicker.
Yeah, and you're sick of just having to funnel around with change while trying to hold 4 beers in one hand and a pie in the other.
As long as they got fucking pay pass.
Yeah, well,
which is all I bloody use now anyway.
I wouldn't be surprised if they got like a $8 entry on the turnstile or something, like the old swimming pools.
I wonder if all the other, because that's only the main food venues.
Yeah.
So what about like there's Red Rooster and shit and.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. I think they'll probably be exempt. They'd probably just
do whatever they want.
Yeah, they'd probably just be letting out that space, I'm guessing. Whereas the actual food contractors...
In a way, I hope that they are staying the same price, because then you've got a good A/B test.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
See if more people will now buy from the regular snack stands, or if people just don't care.
Yeah,
it stays the same.
Yeah. People still bring in hot dog in a thermos or something.
Yeah. Well, I think at most I go and buy a drink at the footy, and that's about it.
Yeah, me too. Like maybe I might buy a pie if I'm hungry, but I'm more inclined to wait until afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. But,
beforehand.
I mean, there is something special about buying a pie at the footy.
And that's exactly right. That's just sort of, for me, it was always a pie or a hot dog, but you need those big, fat, red Savoloys.
You don't get them in Melbourne.
I haven't seen them anywhere in years. You see them in country football canteens. That's about it.
The ones that are a good inch and a half thick.
Yeah, and like they smell like a hot dog.
Yeah. And it's the same ones they had last year.
Yeah, exactly.
The water's the same.
Yep.
Like, they brag about all this footlong shit. Don't care, man. Show me the girth.
Yeah, exactly right. That's what it's all about, apparently.
That's what I keep telling them. So with the NAB, the only other match I caught some of on the radio was Adelaide and North, and it sounded all right. Adelaide were up and about for a bit, and then let North come back, and they still come through. But it was interesting to hear that Majak was still running around, and took some nice grabs and stuff like that. But got to be the last roll of the dice for him, surely. Well,
I was thinking, I was having a conversation with someone on Twitter about it. They asked what's going on with his trial, and I was like, "That's right. This guy has for some serious charges, but it seems like I don't know. Seems like they're waiting to see how good he is first, and then they'll decide what happens in the trial."
Well, I mean, these kind of trials, they're not quick.
Yeah, and I think with all the fuckery in the Milne case, it's kind of... You would think they would get people to sort of expedite these cases and make sure that minimise the risk of police interference and wherever dodgy shit was going on in that case.
Well, yeah, but at the end of the day, you still got to process and,
That's it.
and there's a lot of people involved. So, I mean, they're not going to rush it because he's famous.
Yeah, well, that's true. It just seems that you'd want to find out that sort of stuff first before you put someone up as a role model. But
yeah.
Anyway.
But, we'll see how he goes this year because Benny Brown stamped his claim for the North.
Yeah, and I mean, from the games you watched of Majak, he didn't have the hip strength to be able to bust through people, and he got taken down a bit too easy.
Core strength, he skipped leg day.
So, it'd be interesting to see how that's being worked on over the off-season.
But we said it 100 times, though. He's had years in the system.
Yeah.
It's not like he's new.
Wait, his first run around.
Jared, it looked all right.
Took goal too, I think.
Yep.
So it's
be very interesting because they're a tall side, and it might mean that Petrie can run up the ground a little bit.
Yeah, and I think you'll give him that extra permanent fixture up top.
Second option, that they've been dying for.
Yeah.
I mean, they had, Aaron Heath, they had Black.
Oh, yeah, Aaron Black, wasn't it? No.
God, I can even see him having a kit.
Yeah.
Who I thought was played all right every time I saw him. But
yeah.
He just never left him in.
Yeah, and Lindsay Thomas, I think he's in trouble again for something.
Rough conduct. He got a fine.
Oh, okay.
The MRP today. Which, I mean...
It's kind of funny getting rough conduct in a game of AFL.
Yeah.
Kind of seems a bit stupid.
It's like... not rough enough.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know, man. You look like you're trying to hurt some feelings there. It kind of does seem like a bit of like a principal pulling year 12 kids into the office or something like that. And I think because you grow up in that system and you've always been really good at what you've done and you've been playing with the best teams, the best coaches, and you've always been under this sort of environment where you know you're good at what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it seems like that little boys club carries on through AFL.
It's good to see.
Until they do something real fucking stupid and realise, hang on, I can't do this shit anymore because we've got Twitter and people got cameras on their phones now.
No, I mean, it's still silly getting reported for a bloody pre-season game.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to check. I reckon Dermy's been reported for a few.
Yeah,
over the years. Oh, hang on, didn't he stomp on someone's head during a pre-season game?
Probably.
Peter Caven.
I'm pretty sure there's not like the term friendly in Dermot's vocabulary when it comes to games.
Yeah. Anyway, it'll be and that's right. The other thing I heard, 2 seconds of the Geelong game.
Yep.
And they said they had Mitch Clark in the goal square, Hawkins down the ground, Kirsten up forward as well. So they've recruited more talls, and it looks like they're just moving the spine.
Yeah.
And moving Hawkins away from the goal square.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, maybe they're just sort of playing around pre-season, and I think it's a good time to sort of anticipate what we do if certain injuries happen, especially if people under a cloud, can people perform?
Well, geez, they got backups for their tools.
Yeah, and that's the sort of in-need position for all the clubs at the moment, is just get good tall players.
Yeah,
because
not for Geelong, fuckloads of them.
Exactly, and that's going to be good trade bait for them coming out of it. I think with the Hawks, the good thing is that everyone just wants to go there, and so they're picking up the holes that they need or plugging the holes that they've got.
Well, Spud Frawley's played like a bit of a spud by all accounts. I didn't see all of it, but it takes time to learn. But the Geelong lineup though made me think of what would the Hawks do, and because you got Frawley now, so you got Frawley, Lake, Gibson, Showermakers are all key backmen. So I thought, what if you throw Showermakers forward and then put Roughhead into as a ruck rover? Because nobody has his height and his
sort of agility,
mobility, and agility, and confidence in his hands. Maybe he's going to be playing more in the middle this year, which would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be really good to see, and it'd be interesting to see. I mean, if he starts in the middle, but if he's just float and play maybe the centre half back, centre half forward role in that little zone there.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because when the scores started to get a little one-sided in the Collingwood game, Jack Dunstan went to fullback, or loose man in defence, I should say.
Yeah.
And did all right.
Yeah, and I mean, he's the same sort of player that's got that agility and that skill to sort of Chris Tarrant style. I reckon he'd play back just while he plays forward.
It'd be interesting to see. But he just reads the ball so well.
Yeah, and it seems like it just took him a while to find his feet. Not at Hawthorn, but when he was down Adelaide or Adelaide.
He played 1 year at Adelaide and then came straight back, and he's been in the grand final every year since being at Hawks. But it'd be good to see a few of the other teams this week. I guess.
And also the other thing I saw in the news was apparently North Melbourne have asked Glenn Archer to join the board, which I think would be a good move, have someone like that around the club.
There's another 1,000 memberships right
there.
Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, maybe it was Glenn's gone, I'm on the board. I ain't going to say no to him.
What do you reckon would happen if they announced we got Wayne Carey on the board?
Well, I reckon Archer would say exactly what he thinks. Yeah. I think they get along at a professional level. So I think they're just too old and couldn't give a fuck anymore, if I'm honest.
At some stage it does. But,
yeah, I think.
But, I mean, from members' side of things, I reckon you'd have just as many walk out as would walk in.
Yeah, I think it would be an absolute coup if they managed to get that. I think the members become flooding back, because it wouldn't be the new members, it would be the old members that have had enough over the last, 10 years. And they've gone, yes, I'm up for that.
But it's interesting because, I mean, they had 2 great finals wins last year.
Yeah.
So they're building towards something, you think. If they slide this year, there's a lot of momentum lost.
Yeah, and I mean, if you had Carey and Archer on the board, you could sell tickets to the board meeting, to the AGMs.
Oh, wouldn't you?
That'd be sensational. You need Paul McDermott or someone in the middle to host it, on either side.
Dana
White. Andrew Denton, yeah. Speaking of Dana White, we had a UFC event on...
Yeah, 180, whatever it was.
184, I think it was.
Yeah, poor old Kat Zingano.
Oh, you feel for it, don't you?
First off, gets done in 14 seconds, so she gets one of the quickest ass whippings of her life.
Yeah.
And then has to interview with Joe Rogan, which seemed to go on for 5 rounds.
Yep.
Got pounded twice in the one night.
Yep. And I think there's just something that must make it extra not insulting, but it must piss you off if someone beats you so easily and then consoles you.
Well, what can you do?
You can't do anything, and you wouldn't want to, but it's like, you just kick my ass and now you're telling me it's okay. It's not okay, man. And I think with Ronda, to be honest, I don't think we'll ever see what Ronda's capable of, because
you need someone to push her.
Yeah, I think in order for us to see the best of Ronda, we will need to have had her exist as she is now, and also be born in like 5 years or something.
Yeah, because it's shallow.
Yeah,
the women's division.
Yeah,
we were talking about it at training the other night. Misha Tate is the number one contender for her, and she can't beat her.
No, there's no interest in watching that fight.
No one wants to see Tate 3.
Yeah, and even in that fight, I mean, Kat was frustrated because she got beaten easily by a little mistake.
Yep, one mistake.
But the thing is, that's the sign of a really great fighter.
Yeah.
If you can beat someone so easily and so quickly and make them go, but, that's not supposed to happen. I was too quick. I was going to do this. I know how to get out of that. It's you do, but you didn't do it.
The nature of submissions too is that she's fine. They could have started that fight again and had a second fight right there and then, and nobody's worse for wear. And
that's what I want to see as an example for sort of that preconceived idea from people who aren't in the know of MMA being aggressively violent. You know what I mean? And it can be, but unlike boxing, if there's a boxing match and it's finished in 14 seconds, somebody's hurt.
Yeah, somebody's going to the hospital just to get checked out. Whereas these two, they just stood up and
hugged and go, do it again. The
doctor would have said, "You're right, yeah, on you."
Yeah, that's it. And I think in that fight, well, from my perspective, it looked like Kat just made 2 mistakes. And I think the first one, when she... Even the rushing in, I don't so much mind that.
No problem with that. But, I mean, she's trying something. She goes, right, I'm going to rush in and put her off.
And she got that takedown. It looked like she got the best position. But, see, I'm not sure. It's a bit hard to say without sort of going through that motion. But it seemed like she almost had her pinned to the down, and Ronda's rolled over, and looked like she's followed her.
Well, I saw in one of the interviews that Ronda was saying she instinctively went to judo mode, which is don't put your back on the mat.
But I think with how big Kat is and how strong she is in her background, I think she could have based out and probably got Ronda not to roll over. But here's the theory that I had. I'm thinking that Kat was probably obviously training a lot to defend the armbar. And as soon as she hit the ground, she would have been training for ages, months to follow Ronda's hips. As soon as she moves around, follow the hips and roll over. And so I think, and I'm not saying this is right, I'm not sure, but it looked like I reckon she could have based and pinned Ronda and had a more dominant position. But instinctively from training, she started to roll with it. Yeah. And then the second mistake, obviously, was just leaving that hand out. Yeah. And I reckon I can bet you that 10 times out of 10 in training, she wouldn't do that. Yeah. It's just in that situation, it's all that happening, and she's like, almost had it. But
that arm was out there for a long time.
Way too long. Yeah.
And then you saw once Ronda, swept her own arm back, and you're like, oh, that's it.
And you see that one little transition of the hips to sink it right under, and that was done.
Once she was below that elbow, that's it.
Yeah, and I think yeah, like I said, in training she wouldn't do any of that sort of stuff. But with Ronda, she's so dominant, and she's had that sort of fire and venom in the media. With this one, she wasn't like that at all. She's very respectful. But I think she just gets people to have to consider how they're going to approach the fight emotionally and mentally. And, you know, I want to be relaxed, happy, and I think it seems, especially with her, as soon as you start having to think about what you're supposed to feel like, you've already lost that battle, that mental battle. You see, Ronda's the same every time, just focus, go in there, yep. And you see Kat trying to like enjoy the weekend and not let the pressure get to her. And I think there's a case to say, hey, let the pressure get to you. Just let you react how you react. And you get in the fight, you should be able to have that instinct to switch off everything and get that tunnel vision. And kind of like, you know, racing car drivers, when you forget the speed, you forget everything's going past, you always see is that little bit of road in front of you. And Ronda does that perfect. And I think her opponents need to be in that sort of mindset to be better prepared.
Well, I mean, she's the best in the world by a margin. So what does it matter? And I mean, now she's running 2 careers.
Yeah.
Like, she's having a layoff before her next fight because she's off shooting movies and shit.
Yeah.
You know, which I think speaks more to, like you were saying, how she's so calm and respectful and everything. Like, she's not trash talking Kat down, but
exactly.
she's got a reputation to keep for the other half of her career.
Exactly.
Whereas, you know, somebody like John Jones doesn't care.
Yeah.
And speaking of John Jones,
brilliant,
wasn't it?
That was awesome. That was amazing.
The fake fight with Rumble Johnson. I love seeing shit like that.
Yep, that was awesome. And like, they had him hook, line, and sinker.
Yep.
They had me hook, line, and sinker. I was watching it going, oh shit! And then
to see him laugh,
just messing around. And it's good to see that too, between, you know, obviously 2 just huge beasts that are going to go toe to toe pretty soon.
It's like I've always said, the trash talking is just silly because you're going to fight.
Exactly.
I mean, and it's no use trying to trash talk the champion because his head's there.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
That's why it's funny when you see, you know, people try and do it to like Anderson Silva back in the day.
Yeah.
And GSP. I'm like, really? What are you going to do?
Yeah. And I've been really impressed with Johnson's sort of his demeanour and his results since he's come back to the UFC and
he's like
maintained weight.
Look, everyone, I don't think anybody's picking Rumble Johnson to win.
No.
But it's a great story.
Yeah.
To come back, you know, from his multiple missing weight every bloody time and to now be, you know, beating Gustafsson is no small feat. I mean, that's
like
massive.
He did. Jesus.
Yeah, he beat him.
Bum rushed him and just that was that.
There's no contentious about it.
Yeah.
It'll be a real rocky story if he gets up.
And also what I was impressed with, the respect that he showed Gustafsson after the fight, like in the media and that, saying, like, I feel bad because, you know, he was supposed to have this title fight against Jones, and then Jones gets injured, and then he gets
misses out.
And then it was Vitor supposed to fight him, and all that sort of stuff happened. He's like, and now, you know, he's been pushed down the rung again because he's lost. And I think that's the good attitude to have. The other fight I've been impressed with, actually, in that respect, is Tyron Woodley, who had was it Kevin Gastelum who was fought against a while ago, and Kevin missed weight?
Kevin missed weight, for the last time.
Yeah, so Tyron was supposed to get 30% of his purse like that.
And refused it.
Refused it, yeah. He said, look, I don't want it. You know, he's been through a whole camp. I know what it's like to need that money, so let him have it. Either way, if you give it to me, I'm going to find a way to give it back to him. So
yeah, good on him.
Yeah, that's great.
It's anything he gives up there, he's going to make up on the back end anyway.
Yep, and
it's fan sentiment and whatnot.
And I mean, it's got the little smelling of the sort of start of some sort of brotherhood between the fighters, maybe turn into a union or something like that.
You reckon?
Well, I think that's how it's going to start out, with that respect that...
We know how Zuffa reacts to
exactly,
unions.
And that's what I was thinking. I wonder how Dana's sort of preparing for this little thing.
Well, he's got bloody court cases coming out of his arse. And,
yeah.
Is there more to say on that? Because there's something else I want to say.
No,
because it's been one of the worst years on record for the UFC since Zuffa's been involved. Because you've had multiple fights cancelled because of injuries.
Yep.
Pay-per-views ruined because of it. You know, you've got basically undercards main eventing because you've got no one else left.
Yep.
You've got more people pissing hot than ever, including the Saint.
Yeah, exactly.
In Anderson Silva, who's now got to admit to what it was. And then you've got up and comers like Hector Lombard, which I think everyone knew he was doing it anyway. So you got all this coupled with a contentious Reebok deal that some are speaking out about. And,
that no one actually knows the details of it yet.
Yeah,
they just told you can't get any other sponsors.
It's still coming in a couple of months. So you've got all this shit coming on. On top of that, Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather's just been signed.
Yeah.
which I think is the worst thing that could have happened for the UFC.
Yep, exactly.
Because every UFC fighter's going to watch that fight. Every UFC fan.
Dana will be ordering her on pay-per-view.
Dana will be watching that. No, he'll be ringside.
Yeah,
you can never guarantee it.
Yeah.
So they needed a win.
Yep.
You've had Ronda get the fastest title fight victory ever.
Yeah.
So that's not bad.
On the same weekend that Cyborg got a 49-second KO, just bum rushed some chick in Invicta.
Both on the same day.
Yeah.
It was. They could have. They should have met up and fought in the afternoon.
Well, I thought that was what was going to happen. I thought there was going to be a little bit of a hey, this is because Dana was at the Invicta fights that weekend.
He's already said not interested and not interested at catch weight.
Yeah.
And I saw a photo. I think it was on Cyborg's Instagram. And she's weighing in at 170.
Yeah, I think it was 175.
175.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's 40 pounds to cut to Ronda's weight. So not going to happen. It might be the women's MMA equivalent of Manny versus Mayweather.
Yeah,
it'll happen in 5 years' time.
Yeah, and
so,
I think there's really it's getting a case, and I think I do kind of want to see it.
Of course you do.
If Ronda could fight a man.
Really?
Yeah, I want to see her fight in the same weight division. Not obviously top 10s or anything like that, because I feel really bad if she went there and got fucking smashed. And I was like, oh shit, that was a really bad thing to say.
I mean, it's happened in tennis.
Yeah.
I think even one of the Williams sisters tried it. They said they could beat anybody inside the top 200. No, outside the top 200, and the 206th guy beat them back to back.
That's right. Yeah.
But okay, if you want Ronda to fight a man, who would step up? And I don't mean pick names. I mean, why would you? What have you got to gain?
Cody Bollinger.
I mean, great.
Because he's probably need some cash, and he smokes cigarettes. He's only got a guillotine. Tuck him in there. Fuck it, why not? No, Cody McKenzie, sorry.
Cody McKenzie. I'm thinking, who's Cody Bollinger? I thought, all right, you pick someone, Cody McKenzie. Yeah. Maybe. But I mean, okay, you win. Yay, you beat a woman. Yeah. Or you lose. Try and live that down.
Exactly.
I mean, even if it is Ronda Rousey.
And we've seen how that goes on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she won a grappling match with Uriah Hall.
Did she?
On the Ultimate Fighter.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
She went in there and smoked him. But
Uriah wasn't really known for his grappling.
No, he's known for head kicks.
And apologising for everything.
And then not living up to expectations.
Yeah, but I just want to see, how far off is she from that sort of... How much can you make up for the genetics? And just the, difference in size and bone structure and things like that. How much does it play a part?
Well, the Williams sisters couldn't do it in tennis. So I think in MMA, when it's so much more, is physical.
Maybe the Williams sisters should have fought the other dude. Maybe they had a better chance.
I'd like to see, what about Gabby Garcia?
Yeah.
But again, you're not going to get her to 135 pounds.
No, remember, maybe 5 months ago when she posted that pic because she was losing weight for MMA. Holy shit, she looked like...
Doesn't look good.
No.
I mean, great. You look fit. Yeah. Unbelievably fit, but...
Doesn't look right.
No. Yeah, it looks like there might be some issues.
Yeah, it looks like she's been on the supermodel cocaine diet or something and just not eat, don't sleep, stay awake, because it was instantaneous. All of a sudden she was just twice the size of Wanderlei, and all of a sudden she's, trim, petite.
That photo of her standing next to Wanderlei, and then the photo in the bathroom where I mean, not psychologists obviously, but people were throwing around body dysmorphia and things like that. But anyway, if makes her happy and she's okay, she's not harming herself.
If she asked me, I'd say, looking great, beautiful, sweetie.
I mean, she's sort of in the same boat as Ronda, as struggling to find
definitely
challenges.
Well, do you reckon there's competition, because we know with the judo championships coming up, and there've been contentious issues with UFC being a sponsor, and Scotland actually got stripped of their hosting of the judo tournament.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, it was all born out of UFC sponsorship of judo, and we know the issues that the Judo Federation have had with the UFC, which seems ridiculous.
Stupid. For those that don't know, basically, if you want to compete at the top level at judo, you can't compete in any other combat sports. So no jiu-jitsu, no MMA, no boxing, nothing. Which does nothing for their top athletes. It just pisses them off if they want to go and make money elsewhere.
Exactly.
Anyway, keep going.
And so they kicked out the UFC sponsorship, and they said that it was contravening some laws or whatever the fuck they were saying, and
too much money.
Yeah, too much money going in there.
Is that their problem? They don't like it. They
Well,
like money.
Yeah, and I thought perhaps there's a case for exhibitions of judo BJJ sort of rules where no punching, but there's no pinning to the ground. You know what I mean? So, well, that's pretty much just BJJ, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're almost going into Eddie Bravo territory, where he's trying to do his full contact BJJ.
Yeah, but I was more looking at the case for a man fighting a woman.
Oh, just to try to figure that out. Oh, well, in grappling, I think they can.
Yeah.
There was that. I think her name's. Is it Heather Williams?
Possibly.
She's a jiu-jitsu guy. There's a fantastic photo, I think, when she was at Purple Belt fighting no-gi next to some guy who's ripped, and they're raising her arm.
Oh, yeah.
I hope that's her right name. But she was at Purple then, and she's at Black Belt now. I mean,
We'll look it up and put it on the website.
That's a great photo. So, grappling, there's a chance.
Yeah, and I think that'd be a good tester as well.
Yeah.
Before you allow him to get punched in the face.
Yeah, we'll maybe stay away from that.
I'd feel really bad if he actually gets smashed by Cody McKenzie.
Good old Cody. He wouldn't break he wouldn't be pissed off.
No,
anyway.
No.
I'm thinking back now. There might have actually been a boxing match back in the. Actually, no, I guarantee there's been a boxing match back in the day.
Yeah.
Probably in the 50s and 60s.
Well, I remember seeing online there was a mixed martial arts match where a man beat a girl beat a boy, but it's the internet, so you don't know how much was staged.
Oh, it was on Tosh.0.
Yeah, that's where I saw it. Remember they had like the rematch.
It was a grappling match though.
Is that what it was?
It was in training, and she choked him out.
Oh, that's right. It was too.
That's in training.
Yeah,
I've tapped the girls before.
Yeah, me too.
Sometimes at training too. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you stick having a face full of tits.
Way back to what I was saying. UFC needed a win.
Yeah.
Needed something, so they got this fight, which lots of people have been talking about.
Yep.
But the other win they got was announcing the next season of The Ultimate Fighter.
Oh yeah.
Team versus team.
Yep. Camp versus camp. That sounds awesome.
So it's
what a great idea.
The Black Zillions versus American Top Team.
Yep, I think that's what it was. Yeah.
I remember I saw it on the UFC page on Facebook, and instantly I went, "Got me."
Yep,
I'm there.
Yep, I can't wait.
Brilliant.
Yep, and it's not even like that matchup's great, but there's better matchups against different camps, which they're obviously going to go into the future.
Well, it'd be very interesting if one camp wins a few more preliminary fights, and they've got to fight their own teammates.
Yep,
you're going to really see some.
Yep.
I've been waiting for this.
And the thing is, I'd love to see that break the sort of stigma of fighting your own teammates in the UFC.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
I want to see who was it that said, "No, we're going to fight. We're going to show that teammates still fight each other. We can still be friends." I can't remember who it was. It was a while ago.
Got me beat.
Can't remember.
I tell you who it wasn't. It wasn't Jones and Rashad.
Yeah, and it wasn't TJ and Uriah either.
No, and it wasn't Kane and DC.
Yeah, yeah.
There's 3 good examples of going the opposite way where can't fight a teammate.
And there's 3 good examples of fights I'd fucking love to see.
Well, yeah, and only one of them we got to.
Yeah.
That was Jones and Rashad.
Yeah. And Rashad's had a bit of bad luck lately.
Yeah, fucking knees.
But the other fights on the card...
sorry, that's right. The other one I saw was Ellenberger and Koscheck.
Yep.
Did you see that finish?
Yep, I did.
Brutal.
Wasn't it? It was crazy.
You can see it was sitting there for a while, and then he's just gone whack and locked it in.
Yep.
And Koscheck's rolled out, and he's just gone nut.
Yeah, and just hung on to it.
Oh my God, that looked dangerous.
It looked like he was sunk in like way before Koscheck tapped, but he did well to sort of last as long as he did.
I think there might have been. I think he actually tried to tap earlier.
Yeah, yeah,
and just didn't quite get there. And but it was deep.
Yeah, and the other fight was had a brutal rear naked choke. It was El Kukui.
Yes.
First Clayson Tebow.
Yeah, which is amazing because Tebow's, he's legit.
Yeah, he's no muppet. And the thing is, I was expecting, a sort of a tentative stand-up sort of battle. You know what I mean? Where Clayson is trying to get inside Tony Ferguson's reach, and Tony Ferguson is trying to stick a move and get around and probably use his legs. But he's gotten better and better. I remember him on the Ultimate Fighter. He was a bit of a weird bastard.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
he wasn't as good as what he thought he was. But now he's getting to be really good.
Let's say the editors weren't kind to him.
Yeah.
But he's come on. He's had quite a few decent fights. I mean, he's been out of the house, the Ultimate Fighter house, for a couple of years now.
Yeah, and which season was he in? He was in the season with Michael Johnson, wasn't he?
I don't think so. No, because
after,
Michael Johnson fought Jonathan Brookins in the final.
That's right. And there was another really fucking nasty rear naked choke on the, I think it was undercard, with Mark Munoz versus fuck, who did he fight? Hang on, I'll look it up.
No, I can't remember.
Anyway, he got choked out, and the ref's looking straight at him in his eyes.
Yep.
His eyes are like just rolled in the back of his head, and the person giving the rear naked choke has time to let it go, readjust it, puts it back on again. Well, and then the ref's like,
I think
you might be out.
Yeah.
Actually, the person told him. Fuck, I don't remember who the fighter was. Fuck, I'll look it up. Anyway, yeah, he told him, I think he's out. He was a Brazilian fella.
When you can start chatting to the ref, and I'm pretty sure he's out, and he's not arguing back.
Yeah.
It's a good sign.
And he saw the guy sort of loosen the choke and then reapply it tighter with the person who's out unconscious, not even putting up a fight. And I mean, technically he didn't tap, but you're out unconscious, that's it. And the ref's got to be looking at that, surely. You've got a rear naked choke, and you know when it's on. Even you don't have to be in there. You can see that's in. I've got to look for him to be going past now.
Yeah, or start talking to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Show me something. No. Yep. Pull the fight.
Yeah. And there was another fight on the other card with Holly Holm, first fight in the UFC.
And Raquel Pennington?
Yeah, Raquel Pennington. Which I was really excited about that fight, and it wasn't a bad fight. You know, it was about what we expected. Raquel found it really hard to try and get inside the reach and range of Holly. And Holly, to be honest, man, she didn't really have a whole lot of sting in her punches, but her kicks looked pretty nasty. Yeah,
but again, it shows the gap between Ronda and the rest of the division.
Yeah, exactly.
You go, I think she might have even mentioned Holly Holm in, who's your next fight type of thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
That's it. 'Cause even Holly said, look, I got to get my feet wet first.
Yeah.
I'm still new to this sort of thing, and I'm still trying to figure it all out. But it's just hard to find other fighters for Ronda.
All right, you want Ronda to fight a man?
Yeah.
CM Punk.
Yes.
Phil Brooks. That's the fight we've got to see.
We'll do it in a Hell in a Cell or something like that.
It's already in the cage.
But that's the other thing I'm excited about with the Camp vs. Camp Ultimate Fighter. I want to see a mixed martial arts Survivor Series.
Survivor Series?
Survivor Series. You got 4 people lined up.
So you
tag
fight
in,
one.
tag out.
Oh, you want tags as well?
Yeah, tag in, tag out.
So if you go down, you tap somebody out, he goes out, and you start the next fight straight away.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I guarantee you there's somewhere in Russia those fights are happening right now.
Absolutely.
You've seen those 3-on-3 and 4-on-4s. Mixed martial arts fight. Yeah, absolute mess.
Yeah, isn't it just fucking chaos? And there's no point having refs there. They got no idea what's going on.
What are they going to do?
Yeah,
you're going to stop 8 mad Russians from fighting?
Yeah, that's it. Where are we? And what else was on the card? There was another one on the undercard. Tim Means versus, who was it? Fuck, I want to say
you could just
Diego Lima.
Okay,
Diego Lima, and Diego's a pretty badass stand-up fighter. Tim Means looked fucking nasty.
Yeah.
It was a serious knockout. It was really, really impressive. And the other card was actually really good for this event. I thought it was a good standard of fighting across the whole event. And the other one was Kid Yamamoto back on the UFC.
Yeah, he's back.
Looked awesome. Really good, sticking and moving, doing his thing. And an eye poke and Sam Cecilio, is that who it was? Sicilian, something like that.
And they called the no contest.
Called it no contest. And I mean,
look, you've got to figure it out.
It was getting touched up, but if you can't see, you can't see, and you have to not fight. You can't really do that.
Yeah, it's
but
just
as a fan, you want to get back in there. You can't fight. But
I know it's one of the things that Joe Rogan's pointed out. You got a big money sponsor like Reebok that does gear.
Yep.
Figure out the gloves.
Exactly. Yeah.
An eye poke is just such a disappointment. Nobody likes it.
Exactly.
The fighters don't want it.
That's it. And the thing is, I mean, the fighters are even willing to fight on through a shot to the nuts, multiple shots to the nuts. They want to keep on fighting, so make it so that these injuries aren't going to happen.
I could be wrong, but was it Gabriel Gonzaga that got poked in the eye and he's, no, keep fighting. And the ref called it and goes, no.
Oh, I think so.
I don't. If it wasn't Gabriel Gonzaga, it's then I'm a racist and it was another big Brazilian. Which,
Gabby Garcia?
In the men's... Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so that was the UFC on the weekend. What about the weekend before with Mia versus Bigfoot?
Ooh, yeah. Now, I was really impressed by Frank Mir. Really impressed. Because, I mean, his stand-up has been shit-house for the last couple of years. But
he's been... every time I've seen him stand up, he does look like he's shadow boxing.
Yeah, that's it. And he just looks too lumpy, like too lethargic and too bulky bouncing around. But for this one, he got a new boxing coach and actually changed to a normal stance instead of a southpaw, which it usually is. And he said it was intentional because... He said when he got the new coach, some of these fundamentals just weren't there, and so he said, "Look, it's going to be better if we just swap sides and we start a clean slate.
Scratch.
Yeah, instead of trying to unlearn stuff, we can just start learning stuff again." And look, it paid off. And people were saying that, you know, Bigfoot's chin's gone, and maybe they're right.
I was saying it.
The thing is, maybe they're right, but the thing is, I think maybe the TRT gave him an absolute fucking extraordinary chin.
Yeah,
because anyone getting hit with those punches by heavyweights, you're going to get knocked
Hunt
out
for 5 rounds.
Exactly.
And still standing.
Yeah, you can't be doing that. That's not having a good chin. That's having some extra shit in your system. Like no one's born with a chin like that. Yeah. So I think the knockout doesn't look good for Bigfoot, just on a being able to live the rest of your life sort of scale. But I think you still shouldn't take credit away from Mir for what he did.
I saw it. My first thought wasn't, what a great punch from Mir. It was, that didn't look good.
Yeah, it looked similar to his knockout loss straight after the Hunt fight. Who was it against? Can't remember. Might have been Verdun.
No. It was Roy Nelson.
Yeah, it was too. That's right.
Yeah. But, okay, Roy Nelson's throwing bombs.
Yeah.
Frank Mir isn't.
Yeah, exactly.
And even, sometimes when you get like a Roy who's throwing this big bomb, or Mark Hunt, remember when he fought Stefan Struve?
Yeah.
He's throwing his bomb, he's going, yep, that got him.
That's it, yep.
Mir threw this, and he was like, right, where's the next one?
Yeah.
Even Mir didn't think it was a knockout.
Yeah. And, I mean, I love Frank Mir. I love seeing him fight. But where's he go? I'd like to see if he could drop down to 205.
I can't see it happening.
Nah,
it's too
bulky. Too old.
I think he'd be happy picking up, another 3 or 4 fights. Well, to finish off, because I think he's mid to late 30s now.
Yeah, the thing is, he's been around for a long time. He was in here so young.
Yeah, and had that accident, obviously, that robbed him of a few years.
And probably more years than just the accident, sort of the mental scars of that sort of thing, and seemed to really mess him up. But he's flagged Brock Lesnar if he comes back to the UFC, and his contract's up in March or something like that. That's actually a fight that I would think would make sense.
Mir Lesnar 3.
Yeah,
I guess it makes sense. Because let's face it, if Brock comes back, we don't want to see him versus JDS. We don't want to see him versus Kane, because he's going to get his ass whooped.
Yeah, exactly.
Alistair Overeem, I mean, the man that retired him.
Yep.
Well, not retired him, but fought in his last fight.
Yeah, that'd be a worthwhile fight as well.
Andre Arlovski.
Arlovski would be a pretty awesome fight, actually.
What about Roy Nelson?
Yeah.
I mean, there's all good fights for Mir.
They are all good fights.
Not for Mir, sorry, for Brock.
And they are good fights, and I think there are a lot that make sense for Brock, but you got to see who's coming up to the title picture, because there's not many people that are really going to challenge Kane.
Well, I mean, if Kane can get up there and fight,
yeah, well, that's true.
Interesting.
I mean, you've got Verdun, but I don't think Verdun will beat Kane.
No. He's got a chance.
He's got a chance.
But, I mean, Kane's obviously... his cardio for a heavyweight is phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's nobody ever in the heavyweight division that's been like that. Or maybe Randy Couture, but he wasn't a heavyweight.
Yeah, and I still remember when Kane fought a juiced-up Bigfoot,
Yeah.
And the size difference was huge, but you just saw Kane go, not tonight, son.
It just keeps working.
Yeah, I just went straight forward, bang, bang, bang. And that was all she wrote. I think probably the best thing that happened to Kane was that knockout by JDS, the first ever Fox card.
Yeah, the one that went 30 seconds or something.
Yeah. And it seems after that, he's just made a mission, I really have to make up for this.
It's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you want to see him fight with Verdun, because he's got a chance to beat him, because do you really want to see JDS Kane 4?
Yeah.
But, I mean, who else does JDS fight?
Maybe Josh Barnett.
Be interesting, but, I mean, he lost his last fight to DC?
No, I think it was Travis Brown.
He lost the decision to Brown.
No, I think he got elbowed in the head till he just fucking passed out.
Did he?
Yeah. I think he went for a takedown,
and
it was just bang, 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 the start of the head, and that was it.
Right, okay.
I'm pretty sure it was Travis Brown. That's when Travis Brown was on that tear before he got stopped by... Who the fuck stopped him again? Travis Brown. No, I can't remember.
Don't matter.
He lost 2, yeah. But, it seems like you're getting that bit of a rift in the heavyweight division as well.
There's the top, but there's so many good fights in the heavyweight division right now that you kind of forgive it. That the title's out of the picture a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, they got the interim title now.
Yeah.
But they're signed on to fight.
Yeah, and I mean they've signed on Crocop and a couple of the old boys back again.
Crocop, I'm a massive fan of Crocop. When he'd come on and said, this is what I do, this is how I fight, I keep going. Again, somebody you think that the chins might have left him, but it's still nostalgia.
Yeah, and I think he actually did get signed after having a meeting with Bellator. I think that was what happened.
So you reckon it was a little bit, let's just try and keep it in-house?
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
And I mean, maybe it was his plan all along. He knew that if he goes to Bellator, then UFC going to throw an offer because they obviously don't want to give up any share of the market. And I mean, you got Rampage come back again.
Yeah.
Maybe in the light heavyweights.
I've always liked Rampage.
Yeah. He's entertaining, that's for sure.
Exactly. It's a shame that I even heard them say today that he gets a lot of hate through social media and stuff like that, which all the athletes do.
Yeah, exactly.
But it gets to him
a
little bit, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Because he just seems like such a nice guy.
Yeah, he just seems like someone who,
this is what he does.
Yeah, and he's by his own admission, he's not the smartest bloke, but he just wants to be left the fuck alone and chill out.
Just wants
to fight, make money, leave me the fuck alone.
That season of Ultimate Fighter with him and Forrest Griffin, one of the favourite seasons, just to watch him going at it.
Excellent. It was fucking hilarious. Like, there's one thing I'd love just to hang around Rampage because it'd be fucking funny.
Yeah,
it'd be hilarious.
And everything would be sponsored by Monster.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be interesting for him when Reebok sponsorship kicks in. He's got to give up the Monster one.
Oh, really?
Well, maybe if he can't have other sponsors, because everything in his gym is sponsored by Monster.
Yeah, true. But I saw the last UFC was mainly sponsored by Monster.
It was right in the centre of the ring.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
I don't know.
That's usually the Harley Davidson sign in there, isn't it?
Yeah, but maybe they're going to jump on board as the second big sponsor.
Could be too. Because
I don't think that's been announced yet.
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, you ought to put money on it being Gatorade or someone like that.
Well, yeah.
But maybe they don't want Gatorade.
Oh, I don't know if they're that fussy.
Yeah, I think
whoever
stumps up
money. Whoever stumps up the most chips is going to get it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, when you're in casinos, that's just what you do.
While you mentioned Josh Barnett, you reminded me of something. Have you seen what Metamoris have done?
Yes,
they've held a secret tournament.
Yeah,
to find
in California
to find the next challenger for the heavyweight title, which Josh Barnett currently owns.
Yeah,
what a great idea!
Yeah,
I'm interested straight away.
Yep.
It's they're going to release it online, like a
periodically.
Yeah. So like the Ultimate Fighter or the Lloyd Irvin Kumite.
Yep.
I'm in. I'm sold.
And I think one of the really good things about this is that it keeps the heat going after a Metamoris event.
Yeah.
Because what's killing them is that Metamoris comes, sweet, amazing event, you talk about it for a week, then you forget about Metamoris.
6 months, 12 months later.
Until you hear, Metamoris booked another one. No, sweet, who's fighting?
Yeah.
They're fighting, and then you don't hear nothing again until the actual day of the fight.
Yep.
And, they're great events. I really like them. I really enjoy them. But I think they need to keep that momentum going, through the...
And this is obviously an attempt to do something like that. And a great attempt.
Yeah. And the thing is, unlike the judo world, they've done it right. And it's all kosher with the UFC.
Yep.
They have UFC cross promotions, they have their own... And I mean, obviously it started by Gracie, so you'd hope that they'd be somewhat nice, but I guess...
Families being families.
Yeah, but I guess, sort of the Gracie patronage to UFC is sort of gone now. Yeah. Always got a Bellator, and I think you'll be waiting for Crone. He'll be the only one coming in, I think. But no, I think, it'll be good for Metamoris and good for Jiu-Jitsu overall, because especially, we've got the bowler tournaments in Melbourne and things like that. It's good to filter down through the smaller ranks as well.
It's very interesting you mentioned that, because that's what I was thinking, was they've had this secret tournament for heavyweights for Metamoris. The next BOA is going to be heavyweights as well. So I wonder if, a couple of the runners-up or something like that, they might be, guys, how do you feel like a trip to Australia?
Exactly, yeah.
So that could happen.
And I mean, you think maybe even they'll try and get in touch with Metamoris because... I mean, at the moment, they're not trying to compete with Metamoris, you know what I mean?
No.
They're a smaller level, and that's what their market is, and they're doing it very well. And so you would think there'd be a mutual benefit to sort of team up and say, hey, look, some guys aren't going to fight on your card, but we've got a card as well. Send them over there. We'll see how they go.
At the end of the day, you'd think the majority of their fans are coming via the internet. So it's not like they're competing for space or Twitter or tickets.
Exactly.
So... if you're interested in Metamoris, you're going to be interested in BOA.
Yeah, that's it.
And let's face it, you got the best of the best are at Metamoris.
Yeah.
So, and it works vice versa. Yeah, I don't think there was a person that, there's probably 400 people at the Boa, and I don't think there was one person there that hadn't bought the last Metamoris.
Yeah, exactly.
Or gone to the gym to watch it.
And that's it. It's not like you go, oh, I bought Metamoris, so I'm not going to watch Boa.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It just doesn't happen.
No.
And look, there's been, that I'm aware of, at least 2 people that have fought at Boa and Metamoris, being Kit Dale and Roberto Satoshi.
Yep.
So, there's crossover.
And, I mean, it seems like it's getting, the word out now about jiu-jitsu tournaments, and you think people would have an eye on competing in these things and be trying to seek them out, as opposed to the organisations having to try and find fighters from around the place.
They got people putting their hands up. There's no worries about that.
Yeah.
It's good to see there's a little bit of money behind it as well.
Yeah.
Getting towards it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I don't know if this was fair ink or not, but I did read that they'd, for the next Metamoris, they'd signed Chael versus Babalu.
Wow.
Which would be interesting.
Yeah.
A good fight, but I don't know if that was serious or if it was rumours or not.
Yeah, or if it was Uncle Chael just being Uncle Chael.
Uncle Chael being Uncle Chael.
Who knows? I heard him going on about someone called the nickname Bubblegum.
Well, that was probably
Babalu. Was that Babalu?
It probably was.
I'm guessing that's what he's trying to hype up at the moment. And I mean, Chael's working for Sportsnet now, isn't he? ESPN, for doing the MMA rap.
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah. So
because he got kicked off of Fox or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's no hard feelings his behalf. It's just, I did it. Yeah, that's the way it's got to go.
Oh, he's got a career to look after now, which is talking as much as it is fighting. So
yes,
if you can, roll around on the mats in unsanctioned events, and people will watch.
And also today, I saw Big John McCarthy just started his own podcast.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I think that'd be really interesting.
I fucking know they would,
because I've seen.
I've heard him on the Joe Rogan podcast, and it was interesting as fuck.
Yeah, and I saw wasn't sure it was an interview with him or he was talking on Twitter to someone. And he was saying him and one of the other refs, might have been Herb Dean or something like that, they actually Skype and talk about fights and like different things about what you should do and shouldn't do and different positions. And
it wouldn't surprise me at all. I know that he runs his own gym and that kind of stuff, and loves the fight game.
Yeah,
and I think he's been involved since UFC 2.
I know what it was. It was I mean, on Joe Rogan's podcast, he had that other fight announcer who was in a glam rock band in the 80s or something, a Canadian fella. But he was like an encyclopedia of mixed martial arts. Yeah. Really nice guy and really, really down to earth. And he was like the Joe Rogan of Canada, more or less. But,
right, okay.
But they both had like same respect for each other. You know what I mean? They both enjoyed each other's work and they're both very good at what they do. And he was saying that when he interviewed John McCarthy, that him and I don't think it was Herb Dean, but another up there prime ref, they were looking at Demetrius Johnson versus one of his title fights. And they were discussing just this little push that Demetrius Johnson does to his opponents, just like a little, inch punch, more or less. But what it's doing is just putting them off balance and out of the range just a little bit, because they used to be fighting and punching at a certain distance, and it's just enough to put them off. But if you're not looking for it, you don't notice it.
I do remember hearing, I might have heard a snippet of that conversation before.
Yeah, and it's like those little things that I'm fascinated that the refs are actually looking at these things, and he said they were talking about it for half an hour.
Well, that's great, though. I mean, because I've always thought, especially at the UFC level, the refs have been fantastic for the most part.
Yeah.
The judges aren't.
Judges are terrible.
The level of professionalism between the two is a gaping hole. And, Big John and Herb are the best two going around.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
And the thing is, obviously the 10-point must scoring system isn't ideal for mixed martial arts. It's just a matter of finding out what is. But in my opinion, I think for mixed martial arts, it shouldn't be a fight about rounds. I think if you're the most fucked up at the end of the fight, the other person wins. Because it should keep on going. It shouldn't be you run for rounds 1 and 2 and almost died in round 3, but you still win the fight.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's the way that mixed martial arts is really aimed at. It's not like it's supposed to be a simulation of a fight to the death, more or less.
More or less, yeah.
And so I think the ultimate damage at the end should count for more.
So, okay, let's go.
I'm not sure how to work it into it, though.
The most obvious example of that I can think of is Jackson versus Machida, who, for me, Jackson won on points the first 2 rounds, and then Machida fucked him up in the third.
Yeah.
So you'd score that for Machida.
Yeah, I think...
Look, I mean, it's legitimate. I mean, there's reason to think that way.
Yeah. It's just a matter of how you get someone to correctly judge that, because it's still going to be faulty.
It's still up for human interpretation.
Until we can get sort of medical technology up to a point where you can sort of give someone a CT scan and they say, well, he's got this fucked up and this fucked up, so the guy wins the fight.
No, it's got to be who's got the most hit points left.
Yeah, that's it.
Then you can have a live heart monitor reading and have the red bars across the bottom. And you see when they're out.
Yep. And I want to see the finish him.
The next step is fatalities, obviously.
Yeah. And I think that also will cut out a lot of the stalling and sort of the lay and pray kind of fighting, because I think damage has to count for a lot more than what it does.
Yeah. Yep.
And like the ultimate end of the fight isn't necessarily the end of a fight, if that makes sense. Like that's the end of this being a competition, but we're trying to see who's the best fighter.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it is still a sport, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, the first step they've got to do is get people judging who have actually been mixed martial artists or in mixed martial arts.
You would have hoped it would have happened by now.
Yeah.
What are we, UFC 180 whatever on the weekend?
I mean, they only got rid of Keith Kaiser last year, I think, out of the commission, so you would hope to see changes coming. Well, I mean, I think Big John's allowed to ref in Nevada now, so it's a plus.
It's a start.
Yeah, but still way behind it. And you see how frustrated like Dana and that are, but they can't
do anything.
They can't say anything outright because they know that just comes back to bite them in the ass when they've got to go to the commissions for anything.
But they're the biggest player in the game, so
that's it.
I don't watch much of the other minor leagues or lesser promotions or anything. So I wonder if they have the same sort of problems. But it's just at the end of the day, it's rubber the green type of stuff. But just means so much more in the fight game when you've only got 20 fights in your career if you're lucky.
Exactly,
and losing one fight can set you off on a different path.
Yeah, and I mean, and also with UFC starting to come into Melbourne, and they got their first one in Adelaide coming up soon as well. That open workout today for it. I think. Maybe it's a chance to Australia be proactive and get right people in the right places for judging, because it would be the Australian. What commission would run that? Judging for UFC in Australia.
I have no clue.
Yeah, something I might have to find out, because I'm not sure if...
I mean, I know some MMA judges, and I still don't know what the commissions are.
Yeah. But, it'll be interesting to see how it goes, because it could be either really shit or it could be a massive success. But
I mean, we've had UFC events in Australia before. I haven't noticed any real issues.
I don't think we've only... Oh, no, we've had one pay-per-view, haven't we? The rest have been fight nights. We had one before they actually had fight nights on Fox.
Yeah, so. I'm not even sure if there was a pay-per-view. I know there's been plenty of fight nights. So,
Yeah. But I mean, Etihad Stadium is going to be a title fight, whether it's pay-per-view or Fox. It has to be huge, because there could be nothing worse for them to finally get into Etihad and sell 20,000 tickets.
Yep.
That's going to be a massive loss.
And they've done it every time they've gone to a new market.
Yep.
And Melbourne's a new market. It's the premier sporting location of Australia.
Yep.
They've thrown everything at it.
Yep. Exactly.
So it hasn't been announced yet, but we're expecting September or November, aren't we?
In November, yeah.
We're expecting.
And Dana said in the pre-fight presser for UFC 184, he said Melbourne's definitely happening.
Yeah.
But I mean, Dana's known to say things that aren't necessarily true.
He can say whatever he likes and then go back on it 5 minutes later.
So yeah, but I mean, it's got to be inevitable, surely.
Yeah, well, I hope so. But no, it's good to see there's a couple of wins on the board anyway for the UFC.
Yeah, and they need
time. We're hitting them about an hour there.
Yep.
I reckon we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Keep listening, guys. We've got a few more mystery AFL theatre things to go through, and we're trying some different things with them coming up as well.
Yep. We'll try and get them all done before round one.
Before the season starts, and hopefully before they get removed from Smart Replay. So
we
keep watching
yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
And the other thing I want to say for the AFL fans out there, only because I realised it today, is tickets go on sale Wednesday next week for round one.
Really?
So yeah, make sure you get in, because I'm going to the Easter Monday game.
Yep.
So I want to make sure I get in early.
Richmond, Carlton will be hitting up, I reckon.
On Thursday night?
Yep.
Oh, fuck yeah, I'm in for that too.
You can have that one.
All right, looks like two games on the opening round one for me.
What a shame. Could be worse.
All right, guys, get your tickets in.
All right, peace.